What up, Reader fam? Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm bringing you a bit of a throwback challenge. It's the Do I Have That Other Book Challenge, the sequel to the Do I Have That Book Challenge. First up, a word from our sponsor. Today's video is being sponsored by Book of the Month. If you've been living under a rock or you've had your nose glued to a book for the last few years, let me tell you all about Book of the Month. Book of the Month is a monthly bookish subscription service. They have a team that curates a list of books each month that will land on your bookshelves and bring some freshness. They have an array of genres and new releases to make sure you're getting a variety of books to pick from each month. They also offer an add-on option if you see more than one book that you want to add on to your book pile. Been there, done that plenty of times. It's a great and affordable service and the perfect way to keep your TBR piles unique and fresh. They also offer up an option to give somebody Book of the Month, and the holidays are coming up, so I'm just saying, 'tis the season to be treated with books. You can use the code Jesse to get your first box for only $9.99. And I'll be sure to leave more information down below, so be sure to go and click the linkity links. But now let's go over all the November selections. First up, we have here How to Marry Keanu Reeves in 90 Days. That sounds like a clickbait YouTube title. This is a road trip rom-com about a girl who is trying to convince Keanu Reeves to marry her, as the title suggests. Next up, we've got A Little Hope. We follow Greg, who has been just diagnosed with a brutal cancer. This will challenge him and his family immensely, and we follow him on that journey. Next up, we have The Keeper of Night, which is a book that I read recently, and I recommend getting it through Book of the Month. This book follows our main character, who is half Shinigami, half Reaper, and she has to take down these demons to prove herself in Japan. It's great, check it out, highly recommend. Next, we have The Collective. We follow Camille, a mother who will do anything to get revenge after the tragic death of her daughter. She ends up stumbling across this group called The Collective and ends up getting involved with them. It's a group of mothers who all have tragic stories of their own and all would like to get revenge. But Camille realizes quickly that it might just not be what she had in mind when it comes to revenge. Next, we have The Book in the Book Box, the iconic blue box, the iconic blue Book of the Month box. In the box was The Family. This is a novel about two best friends who are daughters of the Italian mafia. I am intrigued by that alone. I need to read this book ASAP. You don't even have to say anything else. I'm gonna read you. Finally, Book of the Month sent me two of their add-on options, so let me go over those with you guys. First up, we've got My Body. This book is an exploration of feminism, sexuality, and power. And finally, we have Will. This is a memoir by Will Smith, so it explores his life, and let me just say, this is one of my all-time favorite covers I've ever seen on a memoir. Like, this is how you do a cover for a memoir. A+, knocked it out the park. Fantastic. Deserves an award. Those are all the November selections for Book of the Month. Again, I will leave more information for you guys down below in the comments, along with a link. And be sure to use my code Jesse to get your first box for $9.99. Holla, 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 holla. Okay, back to the video. Now, I've seen people do this challenge two ways. One where they're timing themselves and trying to be as fast as possible, and two, where people are chiller than chill. And today, I'm gonna go with the chiller than chill option, because I'd rather not run around like a maniac trying to find books today and nearly dying. Death by books? Not today, Satan. I'm gonna list the original creators down below in the description. Go and check them out. Give them some love. Thump, thump, heart. Beat. Even though I say this video is gonna be chill, y'all know I got none of that. I've got some chili in the fridge, but that's as close to chill as I will get. Anyway, throughout this video, I will be given questions asking if I have books with specific things, and it's my duty to find books that correlate with those things. Let's get it. Do you have a book with a fox in the cover or a part of the plot? Boy, do I. This shelf is full of foxes. The Language of Thorns. Fox. Furthermore. Fox. Shadow of the Fox. Fox. Actually, the fox shows up on all of the books. Do I get bonus points for that? Since nobody's really the game maker here, I'll take on the role of game maker.
You get bonus points, Jesse.
The Dreadful Tale of Prosper Redding. Fox. Witch. There's a little foxy silhouette right there. Look at me being an overachiever. The star student, if I shall say. Always going above and beyond. Some may say I'm always going way too far, and I might just have to agree with them on that. You could say that my bookshelves are foxy. That's where I'm gonna draw the line. We're done. Speaking of foxes, does anybody else feel like that whole what does the fox say is like a full-on fever dream? Like, was that real? Do you have a book that was published on the year you were born or within a 3-year radius? Good question. I don't know. Time to tear down my bookshelf to find out, because I have no idea. Interesting. I really thought that the His Dark Materials series was published in like the 80s or something, but no. The first book came out in 1995. Am I gonna reveal if I'm above or below that number? No, but I'm in my 20s. Wait. 20s. Next, you have a book that uses music as a weapon or magic. Yup, this Savage Song is that book. I wonder how many people chose this as the answer for this question. In this book, the violin is used to suck the soul out of a human. How charming. If someone ever asks me if I play an instrument, I'll just be like, I do, but I can't show it to you because it'll suck out your soul. The question is, will they fall for it? No, they won't. But a boy can try. Next, you have a series with mismatched covers. Unfortunately, the amateur series have mismatched covers. I don't have the third book in this trilogy, but I have the first two. This is the first book. This is the second book. It went from this solid purple color to this greenish beige color with teal accents. I don't necessarily mind this cover change. Like, to me, it kind of leveled up a little bit. But I think the thing that really irritates me is the fact that, like, the spines just don't go together. In my opinion, if you're gonna do a cover change, the least you could do for us readers is not change the spines, because this just does not work well together. Change the covers all you want, but keep the spines in the same family. Back at it again with the first world problems. Next, do you have a book with a shapeshifter? I know I do, but I'm blanking, of course. When I get on camera, I'm like, huh? There's gotta be a shapeshifter in the Mortal Instruments series. If y'all could shapeshift into any creature ever, like even make-believe, what would you shapeshift into? I'm afraid that 11-year-old me who was obsessed with manatees would be like, manatees! Lord, please help 11-year-old me. But grown-up me, without a doubt, would say dragon. I want to be a fire-breathing dragon! Next, do you have a book signed by an author? I have a lot of books signed by authors. I feel like, honestly though, at least here in the States, it's not that hard to get your hands on signed copies, because nowadays, they have authors like pre-signed books before they're put into places like Barnes & Noble. Anyway, I'll shut up and show you some signed books. Womp womp, bada bing, bada boom. Do you have a book with mostly red on the cover? This Red Queen Special Edition is literally drenched in red. I took the red in the title literally. I love it though. It's striking, it catches the eye, really emphasizes the Red Queen bit, and I'm here for it. Next, you have a book between 287 and 306 pages. Let's see how many books it takes for me to find one in between that page count. Only basing it off the size of the book. Let's go. Have you heard a doorway? Nope. If you come softly? Nope. Literally? Nope. Switch? Nope. Long way down? Yep. Coming in at a whopping 306 pages, long way down comes through. I knew I could always rely on you. Book, babe. I love you. I really need to stop kissing books. I know it's uncomfortable. Just here to make things awkward 24/7. Next, do you have a book with a main character that wears glasses? Switching it up with a graphic novel, going with Delicates by Brenna Thumler. Glasses, glasses, glasses. Do you have a book with a title that has the same amount of letters as your first name? Jesse. Not me having to count how many letters are in my name on my fingers. Well, in case you didn't know, Jesse is 5 letters long. Rebel, Chris, Coral, Sadie, Witch, and panic. My mental state at all times. Always panicking. Next, you have a book with cybercrime or technology as the plot point. Got a few. I'm wondering... What? Kind of. It's not really cybercrime, but there's definitely technology involved. I'm gonna go ahead and go with want, even though I don't know that it necessarily works. This takes place in a futuristic version of Taipei, and we follow Jason, who is out to expose this corporation called Jin Corp. They are behind this massive plague that has broken out throughout the city, and to capitalize on the plague that they're creating, they sell these like suits that protect people from this plague. It's brilliant. I love it. I still need to read the sequel. No surprise there though. Next, you have a book written in another language or translated to English. I do. In fact, I have a full shelf in my living room that is just dedicated to translated works, but on these shelves in here, I picked up the Japanese edition of one of my favorite mangas, My Hero Academia, when I was in Japan, and it's full on in Japanese. Am I able to read this yet? No. But one of these days, when I get my act together and actually learn how to read Japanese, I will be able to read this manga. It'll be a glorious day, honestly. Next, do you have a book written by an Asian author? I have tons. Frankly in Love, Wicked Fox, Shadow of the Fox, Forest of a Thousand Lanterns, These Violent Delights, The Poppy War, Want, New Waves, Parachutes, Emergency Contact, Made in Korea, The Astonishing Color of After, Love Boat Taipei, and that is just to name a few. Next, do you have a book with the moon on the cover? Yes, I do. Witch has a moon, Wicked Fox has a moon, 172 Hours technically has the literal moon on it, inside of an eyeball, which is kind of terrifying. Petition for there to be more book covers with moons on them. Do you have an illustrated children's book? Yes, I have the Doldrums, book 1 and book 2. These books are illustrated and they are fantastic. It really has a Wes Anderson style in my opinion, but with a cozier appeal to it. I will say I'm a little concerned because book 2 came out in 2018, and it's been crickets as to if there's going to be a third book or not, and I'm gonna need there to be less crickets about whether there's going to be a third book or not. Like, it's not been confirmed, but it's not been denied. I'm kind of assuming that the author is done, but I'm gonna get on my hands and knees and beg for a third one if that's the case, because these books are way too fun for it to just be over like that. Give me more, give me more, give me more. Next, do you have a collection of fairy tales or myths? I have this one called Beneath the Moon, which, speaking of, it has a moon on it. I could have used this one for the moon question too. It's full of fairy tales, myths, and divine stories from around the world. Not me saying the exact tagline on the front of the cover. I really said copy and paste. It's really cool though because each bit of writing is paired with a beautifully illustrated piece to go along with it. Not only are you getting a gallery of stories, but a gallery of art that can live on your shelves. You have a sci-fi or fantasy with an alliance between races. This might be a cop-out, but I just got got the Lord of the Rings. Does that count? Also, yes, I did get the crustiest versions ever. I don't know why I did that. I might be reading this soon. I don't know. We'll see. Next, do you have a book with a narrow front cover? My paperback copy of More Happy Than Not has this, where the front cover doesn't fully cover the book and it has like this underpage. This seems to be a thing that really bothers people, and I get it. Like, it's kind of just there, and there's not any real reasoning for it. I mean, I know that typically it's got a filling of like praise for the book, so that when you open the book sandwich, it's just like, this is the best book ever, pick me up and read it. But again, it's also kind of pointless. It's just there. And yet it really doesn't bother me at all for some reason. Next, you have a book that includes the first chapter of its sequel. Ash Princess includes the first few chapters of Lady Smoke, its sequel. So bada bing, bada boom, I got it. Next, you have a book with a broken spine. The most broken spine on my shelves is the spine for Holes. And that's probably because I've had this book since I was in like 2nd grade. Do you see that? Do you see how split it is? I mean, it's still really in good condition considering the fact that I've had it for so long. But this spine, y'all, it is in shambles. Could fall apart very easily, so I should probably stop making it do the splits. Finally, we have the last question, which is the bonus question. Do you have a book that covers 3 or more of the prompts? I do. Which, it's the same amount of letters as my name, it's got a moon, and there's a foxy boy. Nailed it! Crushed it! We did that! Alright guys, that is the Do I Have That Other Book challenge. My throat is on fire because I've been talking too much. I want to ask you guys a challenging question for the comments. Since it's fall time now, my question for y'all to answer down below in the comments is, name a book that has leaves on the cover. Since it's fall time, let's find a book that has leaves on the cover. I'm going with Pax. It's got plenty of little itty bitty leaves all around it. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. Again, be sure to go and check out the original creators. I've listed their videos down below in the description. If you like this video, be sure to go and hit that like button. If you want to see more bookish content from me, be sure to go and hit subscribe or go and hit that bell icon, and you'll be notified every time I post new videos. As always, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope your day is bright, that tomorrow is brighter. Keep reading what your heart desires, and I will see you soon with a new video. Bye, yo! Say no more. Whoa, that scared me.